গোটা বিশ্বে ফুটবলের মহারণ ওয়ার্ল্ড কাপে ভারতীয়রা উৎফুল্ল হলেও ভারতীয়দের একটা আক্ষেপ থেকেই যায়, ভারতীয়রা ফুটবলের ওয়ার্ল্ড কাপে অংশগ্রহণ করতে পারে না। তবে এবার সেই সুবর্ণ সুযোগ আসতে চলেছে। ফেডারেশন ইন্টারন্যাশনালের ডে ফুটবল কর্পোরেটিভ অর্থাৎ ফিফকোর প্রেসিডেন্ট অ্যালবার্ট জিবিলি এদিন কলকাতায় উপস্থিত হয়েছিলেন। এবার ফিফকো আনতে চলেছে কর্পোরেট ফুটবল বিশ্বকাপ। আর কলকাতার জন্য আরও বড় সুখবর, ফিফকোর ইন্ডিয়ান ডিরেক্টর হিসেবে নিযুক্ত হয়েছেন কলকাতা নিবাসী ইনফিফ্লেক্সের জুড মোহান্তি। সময় সংক্ষেপের কারণে এবার সিদ্ধান্ত হয়েছে মূলত কলকাতা থেকেই টিম নির্বাচন করে কর্পোরেট ফুটবল বিশ্বকাপে নিয়ে যাওয়া হবে। কি বলা হচ্ছে তাদের তরফে দেখুন।
Corporate football, it will have other angles as well, like for instance when such an event takes place, it something like mice, because so many countries, so many teams will come from across the world, and eventually 100 teams, 100 countries as you mentioned. So do you think, both of you, that this can actually eventually generate some tourism revenue and other way, kind of, because of collaboration of so many teams?
Yeah, this is a nice question because this is precisely how we established ourselves. So there's clear intentions that by bringing companies together on a football pitch, you are creating opportunities for eventually collaboration, business development, and as well as tourism. I mean, Jude was mentioning why not hold it here in India. So you can imagine that there are so many companies or so many people that would love to visit this country. I mean, it's on, I think, on everybody's bucket list. They want to visit Agra or visit, other places. So I think from this perspective, yes, there will be a tremendous amount of opportunity to increase tourism trade, tourism income flows, and as well as creating opportunities for business. I will tell you that statistically speaking, from our experience, we have experienced on average about 20 to 25% of the participants tend to be senior managers or senior executives of respective companies coming to play. I mean, Jude is an executive of his firm and he's playing. And he plays on his team with his employees, which I think is a wonderful thing, because Jude is setting an example. How important it is to stay active, to be together, to build a team spirit. So
interpersonal skill will also develop.
100%, absolutely. So definitely, when we start seeing all these different countries in one place, I mean, these countries talk, right? So it's a great opportunity to talk to each other and to play and to create a little rivalry between the different countries.
So would you be involving different governments as well in the process? Because eventually, as you mentioned, it will generate some tourism income, revenues, and revenues in other forms also.
So it's an excellent point. Over this past 20 years, I've been very fortunate to visit a lot of the different countries, meeting with the sports ministers of different nations. There is clearly an interest to build this kind of tourism, because if you look at the demographics of the tourism, these tend to be very high net worth individuals traveling to different places around the world. These people can potentially become investors in those countries, or else increase the tourism for future tourism of their countries. This is the point of attracting this kind of demographic. The average age of the participant is roughly around 32 to 34. These are upwardly mobile individuals who have a larger spending power. So, yeah, this is the right kind of tourist you want to bring.
Among the corporates who normally participate, there is also a scope for business networking and developing possible collaboration. That also happens.
That is always there. So when I went to Crete, I met a lot of people with whom I'm in touch now also. So business comes eventually, but we actually start making the network.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge advantage of meeting people on a pitch. You know, I mean, you can imagine if I called you to try to sell you things, you might not necessarily be interested. But when we're on a football pitch, it's a lot more friendlier. So it's more conducive to create opportunities. Number one, creating friendship links, and then eventually business links.
So eventually, when you have some kind of a foundation that will start training and imparting training on soccer, referee, as you mentioned.
Yeah, so this is part of the goal. This is part of our mandate as well. Our board of directors have given us some sort of marching orders in terms of creating opportunities for training, creating eventual opportunities maybe for raising funds for certain kind of charities, raising awareness for certain kind of causes. So we're definitely on that wavelength, and we're hoping to reach some of those goals moving forward.
And how is this constitution of the committee which runs the body, of which you are the president or president?
How many? I'm sorry. How many?
How is it constituted? The board who runs that federation.
So we have board members.
Board members is there?
So we have board members from different parts of the world that are not necessarily football related. We have someone from Australia, from Iran, from United States, from England. So we sit around 3 to 4 times a year discussing strategies on how to build, how to create more value for our members, how to expand. The day-to-day operation is run by me and my staff in Canada, and then every single country has a country director. Jude Mohanty is the country director for India, so his job is to create as much visibility and as much interest in India for the qualifying event, and eventually for maybe a future hosting possibility.
So you yourself were a footballer at some point of time, or?
So I'm an ex-referee. I was an ex-professional referee. I retired from officiating about 13 years ago. Before the gray hair. So now I focus more my time on building corporate football and building our foundation of the growth of Fifco.
And Jude, what was the trigger for getting involved in this from your side?
So basically,
what prompted you to?
Yeah. So once when we started the company, so the thing is, it was all work. So in the process, then we decided, okay, it should not be just work, and because then people become affected health-wise. So that's how we started playing football. Then we participated in tournaments. We also have our own AstroTurf on top of the building. You can see a badminton court. So we promote sports in the company as such, and so after participating, it came to our thought that we should also have our own tournament, and that's how we created Kolkata Super League, where all the corporates participate, and this is the 5th edition. So that's how it all started, and hopefully we continue this in a bigger way.
I think also to add to Jude's point, Jude is actually a very good example of how companies are taking more and more responsibility towards their employees. I mean, there's clear indication that an employee that's active, that is healthier, is more encouraged to come into work, more encouraged to keep working within the family setting. And I think that Jude's example is a testament to how other companies should also be following in the same footsteps. I mean, the first thing I mentioned to Jude is that at lunchtime, it's possible to go up to the roof and maybe do a little sport. That's actually a fun thing to do. So,
with this IPL, ISL, this type of models gaining increasing popularity, do you think one day we will also get to see similar things in football among the corporates also? Is that a possibility? I
think it is already happening in a small way. So now companies are recruiting sports people, particularly for this reason. So it has already started, but I don't expect it to be as big as IPL or ISL, but still it is gaining traction.
On this point, historically speaking, the Japanese first division started out as a corporate league. And the rivalry between Honda and Toyota was so intense that the owners of the companies started hiring footballers and would give them business cards that said footballer for Toyota. And so their job was to work at the company as a footballer. So that's the progression, and eventually became a pro league. This is not necessarily our ambition, but in terms of an IPL model, this could be fun to watch rivalries, right? I mean, it would be fun to watch two auditing teams battle it out, right? So there's a derby in Spain between Barcelona and Madrid. I think it would be fun to see the two largest companies in India battle out on a football pitch. Who's the best? Yeah. So that's actually a lot of fun to watch. That could make interesting football.
In our country, it was actually slightly different. All public sector, large public sector companies, they used to hire footballers, cricketers, right, to put them
on the company. Yeah, so the real stars will be the actual employees, right? And I think that's the value. I think we all seek sort of that few minutes of fame, but as much as we give to our employer, we'd also like to, excel on the pitch.
It can actually be part of the happiness index within the company.
That's interesting. That's actually very interesting.
Yeah.